Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
Welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. For a radio audience tuning in at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com, we're glad that you all can be with us. Also tuning in to our friends at iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Podcast. We're glad you all can be with us as well. I'm excited to welcome back New York Times Bestselling author Graci Kim to our broadcast. She's celebrating another great book that kind of puts a bookend on some characters we've gotten to know. The book is called The Last Fallen Ram. We're going to talk to Graci not only about this extraordinary journey that she's been on as a storyteller, but also what it's been like for her to be able to share her love of storytelling with all of us, some great lessons as well as entertainment, and of course let you guys know how to stay connected with her too. Graci, glad to speak with you again. Thanks again for the time.
Oh, thank you so much for having me yet again.
yeah, I know. So look, This book is really, I think it's so fascinating for me, Graci, having spoken with you book after book, to be able to get to this place when it comes to not only Riley O's journey, but your own. What has it been like for you to kind of reflect on Riley's experience and yours and being able to share her story?
Oh, it's meant everything, to be really honest, because the first book in the series really was so close to my heart. It discussed things like belonging, which was directly drawn from my experiences growing up and wanting to belong with my friends and with society, having grown up in New Zealand as a Korean kid. And then throughout the books, as Riley O has changed and developed and been challenged, I think the same has happened to me. And so you'll find in the third book, there's a lot of talk where Riley O experiences things like imposter syndrome and, wanting to make sure she lives up to expectation and all of these things that I felt I was experiencing alongside her in the real world. So it's been a really fun and challenging and really worthwhile experience.
And I love the fact that there are people who can kind of see themselves in Riley O's journey as well, Graci, because, Riley O is someone who is relatable. How important was that for you to not make her, this fantastical superhuman that was entertaining but not as relatable? Because I felt like from the very first book, as you said, we've been able to see her kind of embrace her power as we all would hope to do ourselves. How important has that been for you to be able to let readers see themselves in her and what she's going through?
It has meant everything, because I think in books really to me are two things. So first, they are mirrors, so we can see ourselves reflected. And that was really important to me, to put a Korean kid onto the page, because I grew up not being able to see that a lot. And so for me, books are first and foremost, through these books, important for kids like me to be able to see themselves reflected back, because we all deserve to be the heroes of our stories. But also, stories should be portals and windows so that anybody, any walk of life, can pick up my books and be able to transport themselves to a different world, into the shoes of someone else, and experience a bit of magic and adventure. And then hopefully along the way, realize that what unites us as different individuals and humans in the world are much greater than the things that separate us.
And I think that is the big thing. And we're able to see, even in the book, though, as we're going throughout it, Riley O is not only going through this experience herself, but she has those around her. She has a support system. How has that kind of benefited for you, Graci, to be able to have people there, not only, of course, encouraging you, but also walking along this journey with you?
It's funny you mentioned that, because today's release day of the book, and as is wont to do these days, we have to, share posts on social media. And the thing that I wanted to share today as my main post was photos I took of the acknowledgements of my book. Because, it's this idea of books just being written by an individual, that old montage you see in movies where people with these old school heavy typewriters go into a dark room in some cabin and finish the book, these montages of coffee cups piling up and day turning to night and night turning to day, and they come out with this finished masterpiece. it's just it's so far from the truth. Right? There's so many people that go into this process, not only your editors and your agents and all of the people in the industry, but the people in your life that help and support you to be able to do this thing. So honestly, the reason I think the cast in Riley O's world kept growing and growing was because it was a reflection on how I felt the real world is. We are such a sum of those around us. And it was actually really fun to be able to share that through the book, this growing cast of characters. And then hopefully today, once I post it, to be able to show gratitude for all of the people in my real life that have helped in this journey too.
Yeah. Last thing I want to ask you about, Graci, since you mentioned the acknowledgments, I want to talk about how you begin it, and that's by saying, I'm not going to lie, this book was hard to write, not because I didn't know what needed to happen in Riley's story, but because I didn't want to say goodbye to the characters I've grown to love. Was it difficult? Because when I first was pitched this conversation with you, I thought to myself, is this really it? Because, it's been so good being able to see Riley O's journey. How did you make the decision, Graci, that this was going to be the way to be able to wrap up her story?
Yeah, so I always knew that it was going to be 3 books in my head from the very beginning, and I knew how I wanted it to end. So that much was really clear for me. But what's really interesting is that after I finished the 3rd book, I came across this Korean folktale that I had never heard before, but it was about a brother and a sister who becomes the sun and the moon. And the title is The Brother and Sister Who Became the Sun and the Moon. And it kind of really encapsulated the entire journey of my books into this one folktale. And it was really magical and kind of mystical for me, because I remember thinking, I've never heard of this folktale before, that I'm aware of anyway. How did I somehow shape this entire story, my version of this story and these mythologies and folktales, into this exact shape of this other folktale? It felt really kind of magical to me. So, yeah, I don't know. It was hard to write, but it was also beautiful to write. And, I mean, it does feel very concluded this way, but then again, you never know. Wilder things have happened.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's the hope that we're going to hold out for. That we will be able to see more of these characters in some form or fashion, Graci. And so that says a lot about the way you've been able to create this world, is that we want to see more. And I'm definitely excited about our audience being able to read the newest book. So again, everyone, New York Times bestselling author Graci Kim has been our guest. The new book is The Last Fallen Realm. It's available now through our friends at Amazon.com or through your favorite local bookstore. If they don't have it, I know they'll be more than happy to order it for you. And Graci, how can our audience stay connected with you?
The best way that I'm always available is obviously at my website, gracikim.com. I have a contact form there. And on social media, I'm on mostly Instagram these days, and my handle there is Graci Kim Wright.
Graci, congratulations to you again. Thank you so much for spending some of Pub Day with us, and looking forward to speaking with you again.
Yay, thank you so much, and thank you for having me.
Glad to do it, Graci, and we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live, and let's go make today amazing. Take care.